Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our 100-day post-release look at Lord of the Rings set box sales data off of TCG Player. In the whole pre-release period and 100 days post-release now, it has sold 5,714 set boxes at a total of $974,000 for an average price of $177 per box, which, the original wholesale price for these was $144, which makes the small card store break-even price in the US for a store selling on a big marketplace about 176. So if the average sales price was 177 and your faceless tiny card store with no pricing power and no economies of scale would have broken even at 176, well, that means that, there were a decent number of stores that could have sold on here and actually made a few bucks per box on average. Now, more recently, the price of these boxes has come down and kind of stopped moving around in this area. A slight dip for a week or two and then just back to this level here. Now, what to compare this against? And, I really thought about this a lot because there aren't a lot of good comparisons to make to this set. So this is not the first Universes Beyond crossover, but it certainly is the biggest one so far. I might think that you would compare this to Double Masters 2022, but DM22 only had draft boxes. It did not have draft and set boxes, splitting the non-collector box sales between them like Lord of the Rings does. Similarly, with Dominaria Remastered, it only had draft boxes, and Commander Masters came later. And so if there's any comparison to be made between Lord of the Rings and Commander Masters, I will make that in a Commander Masters data video when it catches up in time. And so I did think of one thing we might compare it to, and no, not Infinity, even though that's maybe the last non-standard set I did not mention, but it will be Phyrexia. And let me make my case here. Yes, Phyrexia is a standard set, which puts it at a whole lower level than Lord of the Rings, but Phyrexia is the best-selling standard set in all of Magic history. And look at where its total cumulative spend performance on set boxes falls relative to Lord of the Rings, well below it, about 30% below. And so this really tells us that when WotC does these Universes Beyond crossovers and they get a big IP and they put it in a half premium priced product like this was, then it really kicks the crap out of the sales numbers of a standard set. And it really just goes to underscore once again how the incentives are completely misaligned for WotC to invest the money and the effort into standard that they would need to fix the format and let it drive Magic forward again, instead of the way they've been mismanaging standard for so many years now. At the very least, they should probably go down to 3 standard releases a year instead of 4, put more effort into each one, more R&D time, more play testing, better balance when it's released, just things like that. But you see the money is not there. And so it's discouraging, but it probably means what we're going to see is continued neglect of standard and more Universes Beyond crossovers until one day we get to Magic the Gathering The Simpsons, which is really the one I'm waiting for. So I know we'll make it there eventually. It's just a matter of how long. Let me know what you think, guys. I'll do another look at the set box sales data at 150 days post-release. And don't worry, when it comes time for Commander Masters to hit 100 days, there are some interesting comparisons with Lord of the Rings to be made. So let me know what you think. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.